Dirtle Magic! Hello and welcome back. You can follow our post on Twitter and Facebook at DirtleMTG to stay up to date on our latest videos and other posts, and you can join a more robust discussion about Casual Commander at our blog, TheDiceBag.blog. Please don't forget to like, subscribe, and share this content to help the channel and the blog grow. Another way you can support the channel, though, is through our affiliate links in the description below. If you're looking for single sealed product or gaming accessories to protect all of that glory, please consider clicking the links in the description. Now, grab some spells, it's time to dirtle. Hello and welcome. Today we are going to be playing some more of the Kessig Huntresses, Halana and Alena. Our opponents this game are Ranar, Gargos, and Svyelun. I'm just gonna call that the Merfolk God or something. Gargos wins the die roll. Gargos drops a forest for their first turn, and they pass it. The Fish God drops an island. I drop a forest and pass. Ranar puts a snow-covered island into play. Gargos' second turn sees a forest. The Merfolk God plays an island and they cast Arcane Signet. I play Rootbound Crag on my turn and summon the Secure Tribe Elder. Ranar plays a Snow-Covered Plains and casts a Shacklegeist. Gargos plays no lands and casts no spells on their turn. They pass. Path of Ancestry enters the battlefield for the Merfolk, and they cast their commander. At the end of the turn, I sacrifice Steve and retrieve a mountain. I drop a Rockfall Veil on my turn and cast my commander, passing afterward. Ranar has another snow-covered island come into play, and for the video's sake, all of their basic lands will be snow-covered. They attack me with a Shacklegeist, and I block with my commander because they have reach. The spirit dies. A forest comes into play for Gargos, and they cast Aron Viper. The Merfolk God puts an island onto the battlefield. Going to attacks, their commander attacks Ranar, and they take 3, going down to 37 up to 3 commander. The Merfolk player also draws off the combat trigger. They pass without casting anything else. I gain a command beacon on my turn, and I play it. I cast Ashling the Pilgrim and move to combat. I give 2 counters to Ashling, and she also gains haste, and I swing the Flamekin into the Merfolk player. They take 3, going down to 37. In the second main, I cast Scavenging Ooze and pass my turn. Ranar has a Nimbus Mace float on over to the battlefield, and they cast their commander, the ever-watchful Ranar. Gargos plays a forest in their first main. The Viper strikes out on the attack against the Merfolk, dealing 1 damage, and the Gargos player gets to draw a card. In the second main phase, Boreal Druid comes down. Ancient Tomb joins the table for the Merfolk, and a Quicksilver Fountain comes down and begins the slow flooding of lands. The God attacks the Gargos player, and they draw a card for the attack. Damage is good, and the Gargos player goes down to 37 and up to 3 commander. In the second main, the Merfolk player casts Lord of Atlantis, which is cast with mana from the path, so they get to scry 1. In response to the scry, I exile the Shacklegeist from my opponent's graveyard, and the Ooze gains a counter. My turn sees the first trigger from the fountain, and my command beacon becomes an island, and unfortunately nothing else. I play a forest and cast the Sword of Truth and Justice to defy gods and spirits. I equip it to my commander and proceed to combat. I give more counters to Ashling and swing my commander and Ashling into the Merfolk player. They take all the damage and go down to 22 and up to 4 commander. The sword triggers from the damage, and I add a counter to Halana and Alena and proliferate the counters on my creatures. Ranar's turn sees the Nimbus Maze become an island. Another island comes into play, and they cast Soul Herder. They attack with Ranar into me, and I can't block and therefore take the damage. I go down to 39 and up to 2 commander. Soul Herder triggers at the end of turn, and they blink Ranar, triggering him and creating a 1/1 Flying Spirit. Gargos has a Forest Beast submerged on their turn. They play Aron Reef the Vastwood, tap their lands, and pass the turn. The God of Fish has their instant Tomb become an island, and they cast Thieving Skydiver afterward. That's followed by Distant Melody to draw 3 cards. A Shadow Sphere then comes to light, but luckily for me, can't yet be equipped. The commander attacks me during combat, and I can't block. I go down to 35. My turn sees a Flooded Forest, but I draw a Temple of Abandon. I play it, scrying 1, and putting the high one in the forest to the bottom of my library. I move to attacks, intending to save the beast within for removal. Ashling again gains new counters, and my attacks are my commander into the Merfolk and Ashling into Ranar. A spirit blocks Ashling, dying to her assault, and damages a good against the Merfolk. Add a counter to Halana and Alena, and proliferate my creatures and pass. The Merfolk God player ends the turn with 16 life and 10 commander damage. Ranar loses their last white source of mana to flooding, but it doesn't stop them from casting Kindred Discovery. Ranar swings his axe into me, triggering the Kindred Discovery, drawing them a card. I take the 2, going down to 33. Soulholder does his thing at end of turn, and another spirit is made, but this time Ranar also gets a card. Gargos loses another forest to the sea, and they cast their commander, Gargos Vicious Watcher. Moving over to the merfolk, the fountain triggers, and I cast Beast Within to destroy it. Moving to their main phase, a midnight clock begins to tick. Shadow Spear gets equipped to the commander, and a Lull Mage Mentor enters the battlefield. Their merfolk go to the attacks, swinging everything they can at me. I block the only creature I can with the Scavenging Ooze, and the Lord of Atlantis dies. I go down to 25 and up to 9 commander. My turn reveals 3 visits, which really doesn't help me at this current time in the game. I play Skarg, the Rage Pits. I move the sword over to Aisling, and cast Evolution Charm to give her flying and evasion over the beast token that was made from Beast Within. I add more counters to Aisling as I move to combat, and then swing Aisling into the merfolk player and the ooze into Ranar. The merfolk player surrenders, and his spirit chumps the ooze. The sword connects via the rules, and I follow the same pattern as before. I pass the turn, leaving Aisling protected by the sword. Ranar has a command tower come into play. Fibblethip the Lost is found and it enters the battlefield, and Ranar draws a card. Wall of Omens then enters and does much the same thing. They swing into the Gargos player during combat, gaining a card. Gargos goes down to 35. Soulholder blinks the Wall of Omens at end of turn, and draws another 2 cards for Ranar and making a spirit. Gargos casts Initian Wild's Ravager with some help from Gargos. The tribute is not paid, and it gains 6 1/1 counters. They pass their turn. I hear an Inspiring Call on my turn, which is a card I very much like seeing at the moment. I move immediately to combat, and Aisling keeps getting counters added. I attack the Ranar player with both Aisling and the Ooze. Here I give Aisling 1/1 and Trample due to Tunnel Vision, which I immediately regret, having been able to produce lethal damage had I targeted the Ooze with the Trample effect. At my end of turn, Essence Flux blinks the Wall of Omens, and cards are drawn and a spirit is made. I pass my turn afterward with Ranar down to 4 life. Ranar runs into a Reliquary Tower on their turn. They then cast Panharmonicon, followed by Amphin Mutineer, which I think doesn't get enough respect. It triggers twice, but both targets are my commander. I respond with Inspiring Call to draw some cards and stave off any other removal. The Huntresses go back to the command zone, and I receive a 4/3 Salamander Warrior token. This causes a number of triggers to happen, all involving card draw and spirit making. To combat, and Ranar and a spirit token and Soulholder attack me. I choose not to block any of it, wary of the Gargos player, and go down to 16. Soulholder herds at the end of turn, blinking Ranar, and triggers trigger. Gargos cast Fiskar's Expertise on their turn to draw 12 cards, and then cast something 5 mana value or less. Wayward Swordtooth is the card chosen, and it comes into play. They play a Forest, and tap it to cast Rancor, which is then enchanted to the Ravager. This triggers Gargos to fight, and it does so with the Amphin Mutineer, which dies. They play another Forest, thanks to the Swordtooth, and cast Sixth Sense, targeting the Ravager again. Gargos runs up and bites Ranar this time around, and Ranar goes to the graveyard. The Ravager isn't done yet, and they are assigned to attack Ranar in combat, which has me slightly puzzled. The Ranar player goes down, and Gargos player draws a card. My turn finds an Invigorating Surge, and I play Hammerheim, which I'd gotten off the Inspiring Call draw. I cast the Invigorating Surge targeting Aisling, bringing her total power and toughness to 65. I grant her Trample with Skarg the Rage Pits, and attack with Aisling into the Gargos player. They block with all of their available creatures, but unfortunately it's not enough and they go down to negative 16. Good game to our opponents. Sometimes having luck on your side is all you need, and the Sword of Truth and Justice was definitely the lucky draw here. Until next time, stay safe out there.